name is Ilinca Wallace, and my daughter is Elizabeth Wallace. She is now 6 years old. And I just wanted to share her story. So, when Ellie was born, she broke her arm during delivery. Within weeks, that injury led to torticollis, and that ended up shaping how she developed, how she moved, how she engaged with the world around her. We were already navigating a helmet fitting and an evaluation from the Illinois Bone and Joint Institute, but I knew that wasn't the whole picture. So I called early intervention and made a referral myself as a parent. And the only reason I could do that is because of my background in early childhood. I knew the system and I knew the language, and I knew that earlier always matters. But that moment always stayed with me because most parents aren't walking in with that knowledge, and it would be really good knowledge to have. Something that I'm really passionate about is that early intervention is built on a coaching model. That means it's not something that happens to your child, it's something you do with your child. Parents are always consistent and constant in the child's life and the number one advocate from every meal and every ordinary moment and bath where development actually happens. So I was lucky enough to experience that firsthand. Our physical therapist didn't just work with Ellie, she worked with me. She gave me the techniques and the language and the confidence to do that work between every session. Her physical therapist, great relationship. She was older, though she's been in the field for a long time. She really did, even when she was coming in person, she would do certain exercises with Ellie, like on the peanut ball and like things that she was doing, but then the rest we were doing it together. And they were really good at like sharing with me, like, wow, you're so engaged. This is great. We'd love to see parents like on the floor with us trying the things. So they did a good job of like cheering me on too. But in all fairness, I kind of had a background knowledge, from meeting other therapists and through my other kids through work, that I kind of knew that the more you apply yourself, the more you learn. And I made the referral. I had a whole team come out and do the eval for Al. So I was like, no, I want the whole team. I don't want just the DT and physical. And they were all so knowledgeable and great. My service coordinator was great, but like we didn't communicate that often. Once the physical therapist started with Ellie, it was through an agency, and I feel like they were my primary contact and my biggest relationship, and I had a really positive experience. Except COVID hit during that time, so we moved from in person to Zoom meetings. So it was in person, and we established a really strong relationship, and then we moved to telehealth, and then briefly back in person, like we met at the park or something. What made it successful for us is that we had met in person and had a really strong relationship, where then, Ellie too was responsive. I mean, I was doing most of the things. It was challenging in the sense of like setting the obstacle course and trying to motivate Ellie to do things and positioning like the phone or things so that they could see what she was doing. So that was definitely challenging. I mean, I think I would recommend it if that was the only option. I think it's definitely worthwhile over not doing it at all. Physical therapy obviously is a little more hands-on. So I don't want to, like not acknowledge that it was challenging, but did it work? It did, and I think it forced me even more so to be a better observer and more in tune, with what Ellie was doing. So I still believe like in person when you meet and they get to meet the child and your family and stuff, like there is a beauty to that. But I think virtually it can happen too. It just might take a little longer. So Ellie was an early intervention from like 4 months old, essentially, maybe even a little sooner, through when she turned 3. But when she turned 3, I think the decision during her eval was that she had enough skills to navigate her school environment, that they didn't feel like she would qualify for an IEP. We did have, the 6-month reviews, and then at the end, I did meet with the team, and there were some tips and suggestions from the therapist themselves, of which she just, recommended giving Ellie opportunities to strengthen her core and climb and do different things. Um, and they, I mean, we talked about what was going to be next, and we had all decided that we were not going to move forward with an evaluation at the school. So we never, I never met with the school about anything for her. They always said, keep an eye, and if there are concerns or anything like that, you know they explained to me like you could go to the school. But again, I was familiar with that too, so I feel like I knew if I had concerns, I could go directly to the school and share my concerns. I wish that parents knew right off the bat that they're part of the team. They're not just listening to everyone, but that they have really valuable input and impact into the child's goals, into the child outcomes. And I feel like I kind of wish it was more explicitly explained that as a parent, it's a parent coaching model, and that, you know, you tried the activities and stuff, and, you know, yeah, and that you can ask questions and advocate, and that's okay. I think at first it's okay if you don't know, right? There's a lot of questions, like I even realized, and I'm in early childhood, like the physical therapist would ask about like if how she opened her hands. Like there's so much development happening in that first year of life. So if you don't know, I feel like that's okay. Like if you just make a note, or I like always encourage, like keep a little journal, like what are words that you hear, or what are things you're noticing, so then it's not so hard to recall when you're getting questioned by by people in the moment. Because yeah, like them opening their hands, tracking, like how would you know to look for that unless somebody coaches you or teaches you? Like, you could lay them on their back and have them track objects past midline, right? Or do you see them opening their hands or things like that? I think those aren't always like natural things that parents look for. I also really would love parents to know that they have the power to articulate their concern and have it heard from early intervention, like to early intervention directly. So making that referral, they don't need to get multiple stamps of approval if they strongly feel that something is off with their baby.